Hello my friends and welcome to our blind let's play of Ever 17, the Out of Infinity for the PC. Today my friends is the start of our final route, the Coco route. Route number 5 on our way to the true end in this wonderful, magnificent game. So come on, let's get started. Let's not waste any time. Let's do this. So as we've done before, we'll start this run with the first choice, although there will be some skippages, as you can see, but it will give us a clue on what's going on. Rather than just me fast forward to a brand new decision, it's kind of hard to do that because then we lose the context of where we're at in the game. So we're just gonna continue through our options here and figure out where the path first diverges. So it looks like we are going to be KID because we are choosing Who Am I, which we know of to be the main divergence of protagonists. And yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine when it really starts to pick up, because I do not know. But so far, everything has been the same. Here's Sarah, and we ask you. Well, that's weird. Even though I'm asking you, I can't skip at the moment. Interesting. Okay, well, let's... No, I was all alone. Nobody else. I see? Or really? Interesting! This was never a choice. This was never an option. We never had an option here before. Really? Yeah. You're sure there was nobody else there? Like a little girl who looks like she's in elementary school named Coco? I said there was nobody else there. Even in the elevator next to you? No, I don't think there was anybody riding in it. I was shouting for help the whole time and nobody answered me. I wonder why not. The voice that I had heard a little bit ago was grating on my mind. I just wanted to make sure one more time. Sarah, there was really no one riding in the elevator except for you. Eh? So there was somebody. No, there wasn't, but... But? Why? How do you know? How do I know what? Uh-huh? My name. Oh, okay. I was thinking she was saying, how do you know there was someone else in the elevator with her? I didn't even realize that we already knew her name. And that's probably why Yu's got this look of shock on her face, like, wait a second, how do you know that? The name? What? Oh, that's right, we haven't told you Mayo's real name. Okay, so right from the get-go, we are getting something new here. The third eye has been opened. That instant, my vision shook crazily. Something spine-chilling was squirming in the core of my body. The feeling spread through my network of nerves to the far corners of my body in an instant. Hey, I asked you why. Do you know me? You know, the scary thing is, what's probably running through Sarah's mind right now is that we're one of the people that are, you know, working with the company. So this could be a really bad start. Matsunaga Sarah. Yes, I was sure her name was Matsunaga Sarah. But how? How did I know her name? I don't know. I really don't know. I cradled my head and shook it several times. What is this? I don't know.
知らないじゃわからないでしょ?
If you don't know, then I don't know. I do know. I do know. I do know.
ねえ、ちゃんと答えてよ。
Hey, answer me. All the dots.
なんで私のこと知ってるの?
How do you know me? I can't explain the third eye dots.
君は
Who?
誰なの?
Who are you? I said I don't know. I don't know myself. I don't know. Why do I know your name, but not my own? Interesting. My temple started to throb. The power drained from my body. I crumpled on the spot, as if I had been sucked dry of energy.
ちょっと、また例の発作なの?
Wait, not another one even fits.
いい加減にしてよ、もう。
Give me a break, jeez. Yu's voice sounded far away.
発作って?
Fits?
彼ね、
He's
記憶喪失なのよ。
lost his memory.
記憶喪失?
Lost his memory?
うん。
Yep.
だからいくら聞いても無駄なの。思い出せないのよ。
No matter how much you ask him, he doesn't remember.
無理に思い出させようとすると。
If you try to make him remember, then... Oh.
ね、こんな風になっちゃうわけ。
He gets like this. Hold the dots.
ほら、だって、しっかりしなさい。
Now, stand up. Get a hold of yourself. You grabbed both my shoulders and stood me up.
いい？よく聞いて。私のことをちゃんと見て。
Listen. Listen good. Look at me. All the dots.
君は今、自分の境界を見失って怯えてるんだと思う。
I think you've lost touch with who you are and it scares you.
記憶がないから、過去が見えないから。
Because you have no memory. Because you have no past.
過去を失った君は、自分の存在自体を失ってしまったかのように感じて、恐怖を感じているの。
You've lost your past and feel like you've lost yourself. You're afraid.
でもね、怖がることなんか何もないのよ。
But you know what? There's nothing to be afraid of.
あなたは今、ここにいる。
You are right here, right now,
私の目の前に立っている。
standing in front of me.
たとえどんなことがあっても、あなたの存在が消えてしまうようなことはないの。
No matter what happens, there's no way you're just going to disappear. All the dots.
ね、私の目をしっかり見て。
Okay, look me in the eyes, alright?
そう。
That's better.
そしたら、笑ってみて。
Now, try to smile. What?
笑うの。ニコって。
Just smile. I made a conscious effort to move my cheek muscles.
ダメダメ。もっとニコって。ニコニコって。
No, no, no. More like, say, cheese. I put more effort into making my muscles. Put more effort into moving the muscles in my face.
かなり引きつった笑顔だけど、まあ、よしとしよう。
That's a pretty forced grin, but I guess it's good enough.
と、過去のことなんか、どうでもよくなってきたでしょ?
How's that? I bet you stopped worrying about your past, right? Yeah, sure. Why not? That was how I answered.
ね、過去は関係ないの。
See, the past isn't important. Is that kind of suspicious for her to say, though?
大事なのは、今、笑えるかどうか。
What's important is whether or not you can smile right now. No, I'm not going to. No, I don't think Yu's involved in any of this. No, I think she's just trying to make us feel better or not hurting. I mean, Yu's got a good heart. I don't think that she's trying to trap us here.
それが、あなたが存在することの証。
That's proof of your existence.
だから、ほら、笑って。
So you had to smile.
君、本当はもっと笑顔が得意なはずだよ。
I know you're better at smiling than that. Enticed by Yu's smile, my own cheeks started to loosen naturally. Yu gently touched my hair. It was as if her hand sucked the pain away. Huh.
それにしても、不思議といえば不思議よね。
But you know what's really strange?
え？何がですか？
What?
今のこの少年の発言。
What this kid was just saying?
マヨは彼に見覚えはないんでしょ?
I mean, Mayo, you don't remember him from anywhere, right?
はい。
Right.
でも、彼はマヨの本名を知ってい
But he knew your name.
つまりこの少年の失われた記憶の中にはマヨに関する何らかの情報が格納されてるってことじゃない？
So that means that somewhere in his lost memory, there's some information stored about you, right?
どうしてなんだろう。
I wonder why. All the dots.
これが逆ならわかるよ。
If it were the other way around, it'd make sense.
マヨがこの少年のことを知ってて、でも少年は記憶喪失だからマヨのことを忘れちゃってて。
If you knew something about him, but he'd forgotten you because of his amnesia.
もしそうだったとしたら当たり前のことなんだけど。
Well, that would make sense to me.
一方通行の向きが逆なのよ。どう考えても。
But this is like going backward on a one-way street.
一方通行ね。
One-way street, huh?
あ、わかった。ひょっとしたらこういうことなんじゃないですか？
Oh, I know. This is probably what happened.
ん？
Huh?
この少年、実は昔から松永サラの大ファンだったんだ。
This kid probably used to be a big Matsunaga Sarah fan.
私は気づかなかったけど、彼の方は私のことをずっと見てたんですよ。どっか物陰に隠れてね。
I'll bet I never noticed him, but he used to watch me from a distance, like from the shadows.
そう考えれば、すんなりと説明することができます。
That would explain it completely.
ストーカーだと？
You're saying he's a stalker? No, I'm not a stalker.
うん、そういうことです。
Yep, that's exactly it.
ねえ、そうなんでしょ？君、私のストーカーだったんでしょ？
Hey, kid, is that it? Did you stalk me in the past? Don't go making things up just because I lost my memory.
違うの？
Am I wrong? Yes?
ねえマヨ、もう一度だけ聞くけど、
Mayo, I'll only ask you one more time.
本当にこの少年に見覚えないの？
Are you really sure that you don't remember seeing this kid before?
見覚えですか？
Remember him?
うーん。
Sarah brought her face close to mine and stared at me. I could almost feel her breath.
そう言われてみれば、なんとなく。
Well, now that you mention it... Huh? Huh?
いえ、嘘ですよ、嘘。冗談です。
No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking.
そんなことあるわけないですから。
There's no reason I should remember him. No reason? I wonder what she meant by that. I thought that maybe she really did know who I was. My heart started to pound again. I remember when I had seen Sarah for the first time a little bit ago. I had felt something along the lines of nostalgia. For some reason, I felt that I had witnessed the same scene somewhere before. Maybe I had met her in the past after all, but I couldn't be sure of it. Even if I did know a name or even feel nostalgic, it wasn't in my memory. Sarah's smile felt far away so that no matter how much I reached out for it, I would never be able to touch it. After that, you, Sarah, and I did a complete check of Dritterstock's corridors. Alright, we're gonna try to contact the outside. Yeah? Try to contact the outside. See the great scene of you losing it and kicking away. We are, of course, going to worry, because I guess we like to worry. It's just something that we do. And then the name. We can once again choose any name we want. This time we'll go with Makoto. Sure, why not? Ishihara Makoto. Makoto is good.
誠？却下ね。
No way.
絶対無理。
Forget it.
ありえないな。
Hey, you gotta be kidding.
賛成しかねます。
I can't concur.
だって似合わないもの。
I mean, it doesn't suit you. Yeah, it seems like they say that same thing no matter which name you choose. So if we go... is there a way to go back to that choice? Is it this one right here? What time is it? 7... Yeah, it's this one right here. Hayasegawa Shina. Shina works.
シーナ？却下ね。絶対無理。
ありえないな。
賛成しかねます。だって似合わないもの。
Yeah, you see, it's the same response every single time. It's just they say the name different. Motoki sounds nice.
もとき？却下ね。
I just like hearing them say the different names. Inami Ken. Inaken is good. How'd you get Inaken from that? How do you get the name Inaken from Inami Ken? Watawase Kyosuke. I like Kyosuke. Yeah. No way, I know. Why are you so angry? Yeah, she's always angry. Well, that's not true. I'm just saying, we always seem to ask, why is she always angry? And here, we get it. Yeah, we understand. We're doing well. Hope you are all doing well as well today. Hope you are all doing well as well. Hey, you know what I mean? Ooh, stopped at the life ratings. Life rating 6. And the exact number of humans trapped was 6. No, the exact number of humans trapped is 5. Wait, that's not right. There's something strange about it. I protested. There are only 5 people that didn't escape in time. But the bioscan is showing 6. So there has to be somebody else here on the Mew. Huh? Why do you say there are 5 people? Sora, Tsugumi, Takeshi, the kid, Naku, and me. Yeah, but Sora isn't counting because she doesn't give off a life reading, which is not something we should know about right now. Oh, that's 6. No, Sarah, that's wrong. The thing is, Sora is... The words jumped out of my mouth. This is so trippy. I love it! The thing is, Sora is... She's not really here. She's not here? What are you talking about, kid? Sora is an RSD generated image. What?
RSD?
RSD? It's a system that uses semiconductor lasers to project an image directly onto a person's retina. In other words, the Sora that was seen is just an image. Sora and Takeshi's jaws dropped, and they blinked again and again. Being an employee of Lemieux, I figured that you had known that from the start. She didn't look surprised, but she just gazed off into the distance. As for Sora... Yes, it is exactly as Kid-san states. I am not flesh and blood. I have no form. I am merely an image. My thoughts and personality are all controlled by an AI program. No way! You don't believe me? Of course not. I mean, Sora, you're here. Actually, your disbelief is really quite a compliment. However, Kuranari-san, it is a fact. Really? Looking scared, Sora reached her right hand out towards Sora. Her arm met no resistance as it plunged into Sora's body. Wow! Sarah reflexively snapped her hand back. Now do you understand? All the dots. Oh, the wows is dots. Takeshi and Sarah froze, immobile, like they were cut-out pictures. Hey, you get it now, right? So Sora isn't detected by the bioscan sensors. That's right. You finally broke her silence. Sora shouldn't be counted by the bioscan sensors, so this number 6 can't be the right number. I told you so. So that means that somebody else is here besides us. Stop!
私が今言ったことをちゃんと聞いてた？
Were you listening to what I just said? Huh?
正しい値ではない。要するに誤作動を起こしただけってこと。
But it can't be the right number? I mean that there's some kind of malfunction.
だって考えてみてよ。
I mean, think about it.
数字は6だけを表示したわけじゃないんだよ。
It didn't just display the number 6, right?
最初見たときは7だったじゃない。
The first time we looked, it was saying 7 too. That's a good point.
それから5になったり6になったりまた7に戻ったりして。
Then it would jump between 5, 6, and 7, unless it's reading our other self and Coco. Then it would be 7, right?
これはどうやって説明するのかな？
How do you explain that? All the I just did dots, but nothing I could tell you without sounding completely insane?
仮によ、少年が言ったように逃げ遅れた人が他にもいるとして、
Even if, like you say, there were other people that did get out of here in time?
その人は突然消滅したり出現したり分裂して2人になったりできるようなそんな得意体質の持ち主なわけ？
You think somebody would suddenly appear, disappear, or split into two people? Well, how am I supposed to know?
ほらね。
See? But if somebody else was here, what would you do? Why don't we just search and then call it quits if we don't find anyone? I don't see any reason that you could have against searching.
私は何も拒んでるわけじゃないの。
I'm not against it.
ただね、単なる誤作動にもかかわらずそのことに振り回されたり取り乱したりするのはどうかなと思っただけ。
But this is just a computer glitch, and I don't think we should let it go controlling us and making us all set. Well, it's not like we don't have all the time in the world, or multiple days at least. So you really are against it.
だからしてないってば。
I said I'm not. All the dots.
わかったわかった。わかりましたよ。
Jeez, fine. I get it. Enough of this.
じゃあこれからその誰かを探しに行くとしましょうか。
Alright, should we go search for this someone? I gave a big nod. At that point.
小町さんは。
But Kamachi-san. Sora said it hesitantly.
あ、そういえばそうだったね。
Oh, that's right.
そもそも私たちつぐみの居場所を突き止めるためにここに来たんだっけ？
The reason we all came here was to find out where Segumi went.
はい。
Correct.
ですから小町さんを見つけ出すと同時に合わせてレミュー内の捜索を行えばよろしいのではないでしょうか。
So, wouldn't it be logical to search the Mew while we determine the location of Kamachi-san? Okay. I mean, that sounds good. Well, let's get started then. Segumi was on Twitter stock, right?
ええ。
Yes. Sarah and Takeshi didn't react at all. I imagine they still couldn't quite swallow the idea that Sora was an image. The two were frozen stiff with their eyes completely absorbed by Sarah, or Sora. What are you doing? Hurry up, let's get going. I tugged Sarah and Takeshi by the arm, leading them for the control room. We climbed the emergency stairs.
警備室ね。
And off to the security office we go, I guess. Alright, the security office, huh? You said that toward the ceiling. On the way to the office, Takeshi said,
それにしても驚きだよな。空が AI だったなんてさ。
well, hey, that surprised the heck out of me. Sora being an AI and all.
しかも空の姿は映像なんでしょ？
I know, it's crazy to think that she's only an image.
確かレーザー光線を使って網膜に直接画像を照射してるってそんなようなことを言ってたよね。
I mean, she said something about a laser projected onto the retina? Takeshi and Sarah was excited as two kids experiencing Halloween for the first time.
でも ユウは知ってたんだよな。空の姿が RSD だってこと。
But you know, right? That Sora is RSD generated?
うん。一応ここの係員だからね。
Yeah, I work here after all.
じゃあどうして教えてくれなかったんですか？
Well, why didn't you tell us?
簡単に言うと
Well, basically,
空はきっとそれを望んでないだろうって思ったから。
I didn't think it was what Sora wanted. I can understand that.
空 AI のことも RST のことも自分の口からは言おうとしなかったじゃない。
Sora herself didn't say anything about being AI or SD, right?
今まで黙ってたってことは なるべくみんなには秘密にしておきたかったってことだと思うの。
The fact that she's been quiet about it tells me that she probably wanted to keep it a secret from everybody.
じゃなかったらもっと早い段階で自分の正体を告白してるはずでしょ。
If she didn't, then she would have told you all about it long ago, don't you think?
だから教えなかったの。
So I didn't tell you.
こういうことは私の口から言うべきことじゃないしね。
I did think I should be the one to tell you.
なるほど。
Yeah, I get it. So I shouldn't have said that either. Yeah, but at the same time we had to say it though because we wanted to point out that there's a life reading that's not accounted for. What? You said that Sora wanted to keep all the AI and RSD stuff a secret, right? And I went and told everybody all about it. Sora might be mad.
そんなこと。
That's silly.
そんなことはないですよ、少年さん。
Not in the least, Kid-san. Aww, yay! Sora's not mad at us. I'm so happy. I don't want that wonderful, wonderful creation to be angry at us. Because Sora is amazing. I love Sora. Suddenly, Sora appeared before everyone. She may be my favorite character in the game. Like, I'm not lying. I love Sora. We stopped, surprised.
いずれはお教えしようと思っていたことですし、
Is it something that I thought I needed to tell you?
それにそもそも無理やり隠そうとしていたわけではありませんから。
Besides, it is not something that I was desperately trying to hide.
ですからどうかご心配なさらないでください。
So please, try not to worry about it.
あれちょっと待って。
Wait just a second.
だけどどうして少年は空の正体を知ってたの？
So, how did the kid know about Sora's identity?
そういえば少年さん、池に転落した時よりも前の記憶はお持ちになっていらっしゃらないのですよね。
Kid-san, you should not have any memories from before you fell into the pond, correct? Yeah?
ってことは、その後に誰かから空に関する説明を受けたと。
So that means that somebody must have told you about Sora after that. No one told me, and I sound super suspicious right now.
だったらなんで知ってるのよ。
So, how did you know? Well, that, Not again. I thought about it. It was the same as the time I had blurted out Sarah's name. I knew something that there was no way I could know. The fact that Sora was an RSD image. When, where, why, and from whom, and how could I have heard that? It was like one memory had broken free from the frozen iceberg of my past. I was confused by the memory's image. I don't know. I don't know how I know. How could I know? What is there in my past? Somebody, tell me. All the dots. All the dots. So confused dots. All the dots. The four of them looked at each other.
ねえみんな、これって絶対おかしいよ。
You guys, this is completely bizarre.
今回のことだけじゃなくて、少年は私の名前も知ってたんだよ。
And it's not just this, the kid knew my name too.
松永さんの名前も？
He knew your name, Matsunaga-san.
うん。
Yep.
全生活史憲法だっけ？
What was it he had? Life amnesia or something?
それって本人に直接関係のある記憶だけ失われちゃう症状のことでしょ？
That has to do only with the loss of memories that are directly related to the person, right?
なのに少年は私や空のことも。
But he knew about me and Sora.
待ってマヨ。
Wait a second, Maya.
少年を追い詰めちゃダメって言ったでしょ？
I told you not to pressure the kid.
だけど、ひょっとしたら逆なんじゃないのか、ユウ。
But maybe it's just the opposite. Maybe he needs it.
せっかく記憶の切れ端が見つかったんだ。
I mean, he found the edge of his memory.
すぐに掴んで引っ張り出してやらないと、切れ端はどっかに行っちゃうかもしれないじゃないか。
Maybe if he doesn't try to pull stuff back from the other side, it'll like disappear for good.
倉波の言ってること、私もわかるよ。
Kiranori, I understand what you're saying.
でもね、今私たちが置かれてる状況をよく考えてみて。
But think about our situation right now.
私も 田中さんの意見に賛成です。
I agree with Tanaka-san.
この中には精神科の専門医もカウンセリングができる方もいらっしゃいません。
No one here has specialty knowledge of this disorder, nor are they capable of providing counseling.
つまりもしも少年さんの症状が悪化してしまった場合、私たちには手の施しようがないということです。
In other words, if Kid-san's conditions were to worsen, there is nothing we could do to help him.
だから現状をキープするしかないのよ。
So we had to stick with what we got.
記憶のことは脱出してからでも遅くはないんだから。
He can still get his memory back after we get out of here. Sarah and Takeshi didn't look satisfied. Maybe I had gotten used to that kind of a thing. My head didn't hurt and I didn't feel confused. But I was terribly tired. I was absolutely beat and there was no way I was getting any closer to my memory. My memory was like a lone island shrouded in a fog.
はい、ナッキョ先輩がそう言うならわかりました。
Well, if that's what you think, then that's fine.
それに少年の記憶よりも先に探さなきゃいけないものがあるし。
Besides, we got things to find before his memory.
探さなきゃいけないもの？
Things to find?
小松さんのことですよ。
She is referring to Kamachi-san. The five of us went in the security office. Sugumi was there.
何しに来たの？
What are you guys doing here?
つぐみこそこんなとこで何やってんだよ。
What are you doing here?
教えてあげましょうか。
Do you want me to tell you?
うん。
Yeah, that's what I asked.
あなたたちが何を企んでるのか調べてたのよ。
I was trying to find out what you're plotting.
まだそんなこと言ってんのか？
Oh, you're still stuck on it, huh?
お前病気だろ。そういうの被害妄想って言うんだぞ。
Are you like sick in the head? Paranoid, maybe? Oh, the dots.
いいじゃない、調べてもらった方が。
Let her look. That'll be the best anyway.
そうすれば私たちの身が潔白だってこと分かってもらえると思うし。
Didn't you realize that we're not scheming anything? Oh, the dots.
ねえ、つぐみは何を疑ってるの？
Sugumi, what is it you're so suspicious about?
私たちが何をしたと思ってるの？
What do you think we did?
あなたには関係ない。
It has nothing to do with you.
関係ないなんて言わないでよ。
Don't say that.
そんな言い方しないでほしい。
I wish you wouldn't talk like that. Sarah clenched her fist and her shoulders shook.
そういう意味で言ったんじゃないんだけどな。
That's not what I meant.
え？
Huh?
あなた、サラって言ったわね。
Your name is Sarah, right?
うん。
Yes.
サラのことは疑ってないの。
I'm not suspicious of you, Sarah.
だからこの話はサラには関係ないのよ。
So this thing has nothing to do with you.
どういうこと？
What do you mean?
サラは学校の行事でここに来たんでしょ？
You came here on a field trip or something, right?
つまり偶然居合わせただけだ。
So you're here by chance.
であるとするならば、田中さんも倉成さんも少年さんも皆さん偶然逃げ遅れてしまっただけだと思いますが。
It would also seem that Tanaka-san, Kiranari-san, Kid-san, everyone else failed to escape by chance.
何言ってるの？
What are you saying?
こんなこと偶然起こるわけないでしょ？
There's no way that something like this could occur by chance. What do you mean by something like this?
だから全てよ。今ここで起きてること全部。
Everything that's happening here. So you're saying that the accident and all didn't happen by chance?
当たり前じゃない。
Of course, that's what I mean.
誰かが仕組んだってことか？
You mean like somebody planned it?
誰かじゃない。あなたたちが仕組んだの。
Not somebody. You all did. You ever have someone say something that sounds so outrageous that all you could do in response is to laugh at it? That's kind of what you's doing right now.
何がおかしいのよ。
What's so funny?
だって。
I mean,
これが笑わずにいられますかっつーの。
you had to laugh. All the dots.
ねえクラナリ、あなた何歳だっけ？
Hey, Kiranari, how old are you?
俺20歳だけど。
Who me? I'm 20.
私は18歳。
I'm 18.
少年は年齢不詳だけど、私より年下なのは確かよね。
Nobody knows the kid's age, but he's definitely younger than me.
この3人であんな大事故が起こせると思う？
You think the three of us could cause this kind of massive accident?
そうね。あなたたち3人だけでは無理かもしれない。
Well, with just the three of you, it might be impossible.
でも、
But
茜ヶ崎空。あなたにならできることでしょ。
Akane Gasaki Sora, you could do it, right?
空？
Sora?
空？
空
Sora could? All the dots.
空はレミのプログラムの一部なの。
Sora is one of Lemmy's programs.
レミューのシステムを自由自在に操ることができるのは空。
The
あなた
only
しかいないの
one
よ。
that could do whatever they wanted with the Lemieux system is you, Sora.
私は
I.
ちょっとつぐみ、いい加減にしてよ。
Segumi? Don't be stupid.
だからサラには関係ないことだって言ってるでしょ。
I've already told you that this has nothing to do with you, Sarah.
関係なくなんかないもん。
Of course it has to do with me.
今ここにいる全員はみんな協力し合って脱出しようとしてるんじゃない。
Everybody that's here right now is working together to get out of here.
もう私たちただの他人じゃないんだよ。
We're not just strangers anymore.
なのにつぐみは
But you just... All the dots.
とにかくこれ以上みんなに変な言いがかりをつけるのはやめてほしいの。
Anyway, I want you to stop telling everyone these conspiracy theories.
つぐみはなんか誤解してるんだよ、きっと。
You've got it all wrong. Sarah stared intensely at Sugumi. Sugumi avoided her eyes. It was a period of awkward silence. Everyone scanned each other's faces, trying to guess what the others were thinking.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry, Sarah. Sugumi left the security office with her eyes down.
待ってよつぐみ。
Sugumi, wait!
つぐみ。
Sugumi? You and Sarah dashed out of the room after Sugumi. That left Sora, Takeshi, and me. Again, silence enveloped us. We tried to get rid of the awkwardness by staring at the monitors, picking our nails, and fiddling with the lint on our clothes.
では私は制御室に戻ります。
Well, I'll go back to the control room.
何か分かり次第皆さんにお伝えしますので。
As soon as I learn anything, I will contact everyone. Sora left Takeshi and me with those words. Takeshi looked at me and shrugged.
ああ、やれやれだな。
Well, here we go again. All the dots?
さてと、どうするか。
Okay, so what do you want to do? What do you mean?
俺たちもつぐみを追いかけるか。
Well, should we go after Sugumi? I think the same thing would just happen again.
じゃあどうするよ。
Then what? I don't know.
ここはひとまず館内の見回りかな。
For now, we could take a look around. Yeah, we still haven't figured out the problem with the bioscan number.
例の他にも逃げ遅れた人がってやつだろ。
You mean that mysterious somebody? The one who didn't escape? Yeah, so let's check around the mirror one more time.
じゃあバラバラに分かれて調べてみるか。
You want to split up and look?
俺は下のフロアに行ってみるから、少年はこのフロア、ツバイとシュトックを。
I could take the bottom floor and you could take Switcher stock. That sounds good. So Takeshi and I split up to search. We agreed to meet up at 9:30 p.m. We were to meet in front of the security office. I looked around Switcher stock. Is there anybody there? If so, answer me. I made the rounds of all the rooms, but I didn't find anyone, and it was about time to meet up with Takeshi. I headed to the front of the security office, but Takeshi was nowhere to be seen. Hey, Takeshi? I called out to them, but there was no answer. All right, where are we going first? First we are going to the jellyfish gondola. Jellyfish gondola. What did you talk about?
あなたには関係ない。
Okay, so apparently that's the only new line is what did we talk about? Alright, to the warehouse we go. Sometimes there's a little bit of delay when you press F3, so that's probably what happened. It just like delayed for a second and then, you know, nothing happened. Next is to the merry-go-round. Nothing new there. To the control room we go. Okay, I waited for the rest of the explanation, but Sora didn't say anything more. What was the explanation about? Directly under us at depth is the seafloor. So she was talking about the thermal vents, but she didn't mention Himmel or the lower laboratory. I guess she was trying to say figure the rest out yourself. I thought. Lemieux was controlled by a Japanese-German joint venture called Lieblich Pharmaceuticals. There had to be a reason that a pharmaceutical company would build a theme park in such a place. That reason and in-house power generation, what could they have to do with each other? Power generation, thermal seafloor vents. The first thing that popped into my head was hot springs, microorganisms. The answer? Microorganisms. That was it, microorganisms. There were unique kinds of microorganisms found around thermal seafloor vents that weren't found anywhere else. That was why Lieblich Pharmaceuticals was researching microorganisms on the seafloor. Himmel, IBF, high pressure oxygen treatment device. All those words I had known flashed into the screen of my mind. As usual, I had no idea why I knew them. What were those words again? Himmel, IBF, high pressure oxygen treatment device. So we're getting past run information into this run. I mean, we knew that, right? It's just very cool to see how it's all coming together. I had no idea about the reasons or causes behind them, but I was convinced that they were facts. On the ocean floor below Lemieux, Lieblich Pharmaceuticals has a research lab, right? I said that straight out to Sora.
どうしてそれを
How do you know about that? I thought so. Lieblich made IBF on the seafloor to research germs and viruses. The theme park was just kind of a cover. The researchers acted like staff members for Lemieux, going above the ocean and back down to the seafloor. And that way, nobody would suspect that there was a lab there. Or it might have been a way of securing capital. Working in conjunction with a bustling amusement park, you would never be short of research funds. I'm right, aren't I?
少年さん
Kid-san,
あなた一体何者なんですか
exactly who are you? I don't even know myself. All I know is that I do know these things. It all comes to me through some sort of premonition.
そんなはずありません
That can't be.
少年さんは嘘をついていらっしゃるのではありませんか
Are you lying to me?
私に何かを隠して
Are you hiding something? I'm not hiding a thing. I'm being completely open about it. About everything I know. Everything. All the dots. All the double dots.
わかりました
I see.
でもとにかく今のお話はすべて忘れてください
Anyway, please forget about the conversation we just had. I know. I won't tell anybody.
いえそうではなく忘れていただきたいと申し上げているのです
That's not what I mean. I mean, forget it.
研究所なんてこの海底にはありません
There is no research station on the seafloor.
昔はありましたが今は閉鎖されて使われていないのです
There was in the past, but it has been closed.
お願いですそういうことにしておいてください
Please, just pretend that is the truth. Okay, I understand. If it's that important to you, then I'll forget it.
約束ですよ
Do you promise? I swore that I would, then left the control room. I thought it would go somewhere else. We're going to the security office. Absolutely. So we know about the secret laboratory. I'm sorry, this just... I wasn't expected to stop here. I should have, in hindsight. Anyway, let's go to where everybody else is. Everybody? Yeah, it's not just me. There are lots of other people. Help? Did you come to help? Yeah, that's right. But it's probably impossible. Huh? There is no way out anymore. The girl's eyes were sad and moist. I decided to... take the girl out of there. Absolutely. Take the girl out of there. Let's go. That was what I said. Where? Anywhere. Let's just get out of here. Why? Because if we stay here, Coco, then we'll probably... I sucked in my breath. Somehow I knew her name as well. Yagami Coco. And then I had a premonition that something was about to happen. I thought that when I took my eyes off her, Coco would vanish. Like a ghost. So I would take her out of there. Don't go, please. What? Please, don't go. Don't leave me alone. I couldn't understand what she meant. I couldn't understand, but my mouth had an answer. I won't go. I will stay with you, Coco. Please don't go. Just then, the two of our minds had overlapped. I didn't want to lose sight of Coco's existence, and Coco felt the same way. Coco's eyes watered as if she was sad. Then a shocked look appeared on Coco's face as her eyes focused behind me. That's Takeshi. I followed Coco's gaze. On the other side of the door was Takeshi peeking in. Who are you talking to? I heard her look back. Ah, she's gone again! No! Oh, but we can't skip this. But Coco was no longer there. Coco, Coco! My voice echoed and died in that small steel-plated room. Coco! No one was there to answer my shouts. There was no sign of anyone, and it felt as if it might have been that way from the start. There were no wrinkles where Coco had been sitting, and no warmth either. There was just a faint smell, like the frozen smell that follows the north wind across snowfields.
Coco.
Coco?
お前今ココってそう言ったのか?
Did you say, Coco? I looked back at Takeshi. Something was different about Takeshi. His lips were trembling. Takeshi? Do you know Coco? Oh, the dudes. You do know her.
いや、知らない。
No, I don't. Liar? The way you said that, I know you know her.
本当に知らないんだ。
Really, I don't. Why are you lying? The girl was here just now. But when you showed your face, she vanished.
嘘ついてるのはお前の方だろ。
You're the one who's lying.
そんな女の子どこにもいないじゃないか。
There's no girl in here. Yes, there was. I'm positive that Coco was sitting on that bed. Oh, the dudes. Tell me, who is she?
だから知らないって言ってるだろうが。
I said I don't know anything about her.
それにお前は質問する相手を間違えてる。
You're asking the wrong guy.
その女の子を見たのは俺じゃない。
I didn't see a thing.
少年だろ。少年が見たんだろ。
You're the one who said you've seen things, right?
聞きたいのはこっちの方だ。
I should be asking that question to you.
ココって誰なんだよ。お前の知り合いか？
Who is Coco? Is it some friend of yours? No, but...
じゃあどうして名前を知ってるんだ？
So, why do you know her name? I don't know why, just something popped into my head.
やれやれ、またですか。
Not this garbage again.
本当にややこしい記憶喪失だよな、お前。
You got a pretty tricky case of amnesia. All the dots.
オッケーオッケー。
Okay.
少年はこの加減圧室で一人の少女に出会った。
Well, let's say you happen to meet some girl in this compression chamber.
理由はわからないけど、彼女の名前だけは知っている。
And you don't know why, but you knew her name.
で、その女の子はカゲロウのように跡形もなく消えてしまった。
And then, like some phantom, she just disappears without a trace.
こんなバカバカしい話を俺に信じろと？
You're telling me to believe that? I'm telling the truth.
はいはい。
Sure you are. It's true, I said.
わかったわかった。
I know, I know. You don't get it at all.
とにかく俺は行くから。
Look, I'm getting out of here.
お前も早く来いよ。
You coming? Huh?
みんな会議室でお前のこと待ってんだよ。一緒に飯食おうと思って。
Everyone's waiting for you. We're going to eat together. Who cares about eating? Huh.
じゃあ勝手にしろ。
Fine, do what you want. Takeshi left me with those harsh words and departed. Huh. Libin Sikin 5, 5, 6, 7. What could it mean? If the girl was in fact a ghost, that would mean that the number 5 was correct. Soul wouldn't be included, and the 4 of us there plus Sagumi would equal 5. But the number had jumped to 6, and even to 7. What in the world could that girl be? That reminded me of what you had said.
その人は突然消滅したり出現したり分裂して2人になったりできるようなそんな得意体質の持ち主なわけ？
You think somebody would suddenly appear, disappear, or split into 2 people? If that were the case, it would explain everything. When the girl disappeared, the number would be 5, and when she appeared, 6, and when she split, then 7. Split? Ha, ha. Well, that was crazy. I shook my head at my own silliness. I never even thought about her splitting. I just thought about us splitting. Wait. Maybe I did think about that. Maybe I was losing it. Yes, I agree. Something had to be wrong with me. I need to calm down and collect myself. While I thought that, I flipped up the tab on the can of cola. For sure. At first, I didn't know what had happened. Yeah, I remember this. Alright, where are we heading to next? This always seems to stop here, but when I press like the next button and I press F3, it skips again. See, I don't know why it stops on that. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps stopping on those words. It seems the same each time. Although, are they the same each time? Because that time he called her like a dummy. I don't remember her ever calling her him ever calling her a dummy in a dream before. Huh. I am super confused by that. Takeshi had gone to deliver a sandwich to Sagumi. You was changing clothes. Okay. I decided to make her act like. Next choice, wait a second. This isn't... This isn't one of my options. Yeah, this isn't one of my options. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm a little bit confused here because I just looked this up in multiple places and not a single place has this choice on my sheet here. The next choice we should have is I got it, not her acting in a different way. So I don't know if this is going to matter. Maybe it's not on the list because any of the choices don't mean anything. But again, I'm totally unsure. So I need someone's help and let me know if this choice needs to be a certain choice or if it's not important. For now, I'm just going to treat it like it's not important. So let's go with Caesar. Why not? Caesar, please. How can I be Caesar, you idiot? I don't think there's anyone who can become him. Those are the rules. Hey, no way. Okay then, Matsunaga Seiya-san, become Caesar. Him. My name is Caesar. That you, Hamlet, to fight your lord? It too, my friend Hamlet. Lend me some ears, not my empire. Then it's war. Oh, my stomach hurts. It really hurts. You're too funny.
そんなに笑わなくてもいいでしょ
Oh, I'm sorry. That was great. You don't have to laugh that much, but because that wasn't Caesar, but it mixed up Hamlet.
何やってんの
What are you doing? Oh, that was great. That was absolutely fantastic. Takeshi went to look for Tsugumi.
つぐみはどこに
Well, where's Tsugumi? Sarah and I shook our heads in the darkness.
とにかく倉成とつぐみを探しにまよ今は停電なのよ
Mai, we're in the middle of a blackout now.
だから
So what? Oh, I see. Sora's brain is an AI and her body is made up of RSD. Which means that the power is down, then Sora can't appear.
そういうこと
That's right. That's right. Saying that, you started running. I took Sarah by the hand and followed after you. I didn't know where Takeshi and Tsugumi were. And I couldn't imagine that they would just be wandering around during a blackout. So where could they have gone first? The control room? I couldn't think of anywhere else. The power was out, so the door didn't open automatically. You pulled the lever next to the door and opened it manually. And we're off. See, this was the next choice that's on my list, which is I get it. And for some reason, that previous choice isn't anywhere. So hopefully it's not going to stop us from getting the ultimate ending? Yeah, you mean the Archimedes principle, right? Which we've already seen before. Ooh. Why don't we go together? There's a new response that we haven't seen before. Absolutely. Why don't we go together? Why doesn't everyone go? That was my idea. Oh, the dots. Oh, the double dots. Oh, the triple dots.
確かにそれもそうね
Well, I guess that is an option.
22で分かれる必要なんてないもんな。
There's no reason we had to split into teams of two.
そうすればさすがにたけしも手出せないしね
And Takeshi won't go putting the moves on me that way.
だから出さねえっつの。
I said I'm not interested. Moon Sprite. Okay, we've seen this before. So all four of us ended up moving to the room together. The room was covered in a massive web of pipes. The pipes continued into the generator room next door. It seemed that opening and closing the valves could adjust the water and oil pressure. Normally, Lemmy is responsible for a lot. And yeah. Geez, you sure have a knack for music, folk. Takeshi turned the valve shut as you had ordered through his complaints. Sarah and I just stood off to the side and watched the work unfold. Finally. Ugh.
ダメだ。
Dang it, it's no good.
これ閉まんないよ、You.
You, this won't get close.
だらしないな男でしょ
Jeez, you're a wimp. You're a man, right?
んなこと言ったって閉まんないもんは閉まんないんだからしょうがないだろ。
Hey, you can say what you want, but this valve ain't gonna get shut any faster.
錆びついちまってるんだよ。びくともしないんだ。
It's rusted solid, won't even budge.
じゃあレンチでも使ってみたら
Well, how about trying a wrench?
レンチ？
Wrench?
ハンドルの頭のところにボルトがついてるでしょ
There's a bolt on the handle, right?
レンチで引っ掛ければ動くかもしれない
If you get a wrench on it, it might move.
そうか、レンチか。
Oh, a wrench, huh?
おい少年。というわけだから工具箱を持ってきてくれないか？
Oh, hey kid, you heard her. Give me the toolbox already, would you? I peered around in darkness.
何やってんだよ。工具箱だよ、工具箱。
What are you doing? I said give me the toolbox. But there isn't one here.
は？
Huh?
たけしちゃんとこの部屋に持ってきた
Takeshi, did you forget to bring it?
ああ、いっけない。発電室の前に置いたままだ。
Ah, shoot. I left it in front of the generator room.
まったく
Oh, this sucks. Alright, I'll go get it. I ran, heading for the exit. Water splashed as I ran along the route we had come along. But the generator room was practically next door. Less than 10 meters later, I turned the corner and entered the corridor leading to the front of the generator room. Oh, there it is. The toolbox was sitting right in front of the door. I headed toward it. Every time I put my foot down on the floor, little ripples formed on the surface of the water. The tiny circles of waves collided with the wall and bounced off of the side of the toolbox, rippling out in regular concentric rings. It was dark. Still, I was able to sense changes in coldness in the movement of the water. My vision felt surprisingly sharp. It happened just then. Splash. There was a big splash and a spray of water. It came from around the right side of the wall, nearly below the operating console. The droplets of water scattered gently around my legs. The resulting waves stroked my feet. A feel like I had never felt chilled me to the core. I readied myself for anything facing the darkness. Just then,
長湯店をいし月のせい夢の中より街降りぬ
that's the same song that Sarah sang. But this is Coco. How do they both know the same exact song? Who's there?
今宵柳つくよみ林早く今夏と街降りぬ
Hey, who's there?
眠りたもぬくと丸みて眠りたも母に抱かれて
Coco. There she is. Alright, my friends. Well, my name is FlightlessBird. This is your Sorbet's Gaming Channel. We're way past an hour, so I need to give this a break. But hopefully we'll learn more about what's going on here in the next part. Until then, my friends, I love you all so very much. Please let me know if you know about this choice, if that's going to have an impact or not. But until next time, so long, and take care. Thank you for watching this video. Feel free to comment on what you saw and what you would like to see next. I always love to hear your thoughts. Please be sure to like and subscribe for more. Also, please do not forget, you matter, you are brilliant, and you are loved. And you should always remember to be true to yourself. Don't let the world tell you any different. Much love to you from your friendly feathered flightless bird. Till next time.